overall, it was a great event. I think it was very, very positive for just like the esports community in general. Optic, with their winners bracket run and just getting ousted in the end, they really just they got to really address that.
Well, I think when people saw that and they were like, "Oh, we could go global with this game," but like they were like, "Wait, Japan."
Everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Climb Together podcast. I'm your host Tony Scorp here with my co-host Deception. Say hi.
What up?
So today we've got some cool topics for discussion. We're just gonna get right into it. We got starting off today. We're gonna be talking about CDL Major 3. Let me preface this. So last week we kind of talked about them trying out this new for the CDL format with the pro-am and everything like that. So we actually got to see that play out for the first time in CDL history. So I'm gonna let Deception Tanner take the lead here. Let's go through this. Let's talk about the format itself, and then we'll talk about the actual matches and how everything played out.
The format was almost like if the NBA play-in tournament had a losers bracket. It was basically win two before you lose two, but it was also kind of like a tournament style where it was like each group had 4 teams. There were 16 teams at this event, the 12 main CDL teams and the top 4 challengers teams from the last Challengers Cup split, which was basically like a qualifier event for this pro-am major, whatever you want to call it. But it was basically just like those 4 teams in each group got put into a 4-team bracket, and the win 2 before you lose 2 was just so if you would play like the top 4, the 4 teams would play each other, and then the 2 teams that won would advance in the bracket. The 2 teams that lost would go down to the loser side of the bracket. But then it was just 2 more games. It was like, well, whoever wins between the winners gets in, and then whoever wins between the losers gets in. And that was the 2 teams that would end up getting into the 8-team bracket. And I mean, it produced some good matches overall. Although I am sad to report that none of the challengers teams made it to the main bracket.
Which we were kind of hoping for, low key. I
was
wanted to
hoping at
see
least
one.
one.
I wanted to see one.
I was hoping for at least one,
Yeah.
but that did not happen. The CDL teams won out again. I do wish that, like, obviously we've talked about this a ton, and we won't talk about it too much because it leads to tangents, but I do wish that there was more of like a challengers open side to like the CDL where they could actively participate in league matches and they would get more scrims with the teams. Because I genuinely think the challengers teams would be consistently like competitive with, at least at the beginning, the bottom 6 CDL teams.
Mhm.
But like with it kind of showed on land that like we try to express confidence in these challengers teams and they can sometimes squeeze out a win. Like there were challengers teams that won a couple matches, but like they couldn't fully get it done. Like they would go and be in that losers bracket match or that winners bracket match depending on if they won one, and they would play against that CDL team to try to get in the bracket, and they would just get smoked. Like um I just wish they had more reps against CDL teams because that probably would have made it a little more interesting. But I mean, it still was very cool to see the challengers teams able to compete alongside the CDL teams. It's always fun when it's something more than just the CDL teams. It's not like the CDL is necessarily boring, but it's just like we had this same format for so long, and like especially a lot of people that watched before like MW19, everybody that watched a lot before MW19 just knows how much more fun it is when there's an open bracket and there's like hundreds of teams playing. So
Yeah. It just adds like this new like this like not new but like better layer to what we're watching as viewers to just get some variation in who's playing, who's winning, who's, it,
well,
it
and when it depends on how well you play in the league, it's like it creates a drama because like
mhm.
if you remember, there have been situations where not only would a top team that was competing in the league get knocked out super early and get surprised back in those events. There were also events where a team didn't play that well and had to actually play through the open bracket just to get into the bracket with the teams they played with in the league.
Mhm.
Um, and stuff like that was very interesting to watch. Uh, and well, it really like all of the storylines were interesting to watch because um, I think that back then that system fostered even better talent than what the challengers have right now. Because you always had, it wasn't just the fact that we had more events back then. It was also the fact that like these teams just they always had an opportunity to showcase their players and how good they were.
Mhm.
Um, so you saw a lot of like instead of like this time with the challengers teams, you saw it this time at Major 3, and then you're going to see it at EWC. And yeah, you might see familiar faces. But like back in the day, you would see those faces at like every event. And eventually you'd be like, "Oh, wait, this guy's pretty good. Like he's probably going to get in the league at some point."
Yeah. Yeah, and that just it just doesn't happen because they've got like this it's just I don't even know what you call it, but it's like they gatekeeped the entrance into the league, which is great for those teams that, it creates some stability, that there's always those consistent teams. You can always build your marketing around those teams and you know that they're going to be there, but it's kind of hard at the same time when um there's all these other players that could be at this level
Yeah,
and
I
would
don't know. I just wish
shine.
they knew that. I wish the CDL knew that you can have this system where you break it into CDL and challengers, but you can also bring them together a lot more.
Yeah.
Like we could perfectly have this. We always had this system where it was kind of broken up between the pros and the amateur players, but we brought them together so often that it never felt like they were broken apart.
Yeah.
Like, and now it just feels like it's two completely different worlds.
Which just it really sucks for us as like uh viewers because we want to see the league succeed and we want to see these players succeed at the end of the day. And it's just we can't get that when it's so, what's the word? Like closed off, I guess would be like the best way to put it. Like it's such a closed off entrance level that we don't see that.
Yeah, I mean it's just like I don't understand what happened because it's like we had something great going. Um,
Mm,
we had something great going for years, for like a decade basically with COD. It obviously was a lot smaller in the first like 5 or 6 years of it, but like once we hit like BO2 and we really got into our stride and like the and COD like blew up in terms of competitive. Um, we really had like a great stretch there. Even when we went into the CWL, which admittedly, like if I was gonna go back to any system in COD, I'd probably go for further back to like the MLG days. I think CWL was fine. They showed that you can do a system like this and do it way better because they did it so much better than the CDL does. But there also were still some drawbacks to the CWL. As much as we love to reminisce about the CWL, there were still some things that probably could have been done better. Um, but even with the CWL, it's like they still did not break this. Like they still didn't break this whole thing of like these things are separate, but they're also together. Like the CWL did have a full league with teams that played league matches, but they also had every event was still open. There were still hundreds of teams showing up to every event. Um, there was still there were still online matches. There were still 2K and 5K tournaments every weekend. There was still plenty of time for amateurs to scrim pros, and there was even relegation matches where it was like, um, where it was like you had you would take the top you would take basically the top four teams that placed in the last event and you would put them against the bottom four teams from the league, and it was like we'll have at it, like whoever the top four of you guys gets in. And it was quite often that like that league structure from split to split changed because there wasn't always it wasn't like oh those the top four teams from the league just destroyed the people that they were playing against. So you don't have to worry about them being out of the league. It was often there were different teams in the league at all times. Like
Yeah.
it was fun.
Yeah, so it just created like that variability, but I think that kind of like like I said last week, I really do like the fact that they're trying some new um formats out for viewers to see and for them to kind of gauge what things are going to be looking like in these sort of sense. And with it being like DreamHack, I mean, like there's a lot of like positive reviews just overall of the event, of the fact that just all those esports in one place at one time is just it brings you back to where esports first started, and those kind of like esport lands kind of first started, where there's a bunch of different games in those events. So overall, it was a great event. I think it was very positive for just like the esports community in general.
Yeah, dude, I like the events like back then were just they were just so much better. Like um and I'm not even like trying to be like I'm not trying to even be like an old head about it where it's like, oh, I just liked it back then, like because of nostalgia or whatever. It like I genuinely think, and we saw it with Halo. We saw it with Halo, um, and how they kind of did it. They did it slightly different, but like we saw with Halo that it can work. Like you can still have like fully endorsed teams in a league, uh, even today, and you still have all these huge open events, huge online qualifiers, and it's like I just don't understand why COD can't get behind it. But I don't know.
It's COD.
We talked about it for so long. It's just like they seem to be like starting to make their way over to that direction again, but it's like I don't know if they'll ever do it. Like they like tease us with it and then they take it away again cuz like if you remember like there have been discussions for like the last like couple years where uh like the heads of the CDL will be like, oh, we want to have more pro-ams. We want to get the challengers teams more involved. But then there's always some excuse as to why they can't do that and why we only have one pro-am a year.
Excuses, excuses, excuses. And that's just all it is. It's just excuses.
But I mean, I'm glad that we got the challengers event.
Mm-hmm.
The challengers team showing up. It was a good event. I definitely despite none of the challengers teams the making it to the main bracket, it was still there was still plenty of drama to be had.
Oh,
Um,
100%. There always is. Always is.
I mean, probably I don't know. It kind of has gotten forgotten a little bit because the event was like the event went really well after the very first day, but um one of the crazy things that happened during the day is like I don't know if it's because of the new overload rules or if if they were just like the rest were just off their game or what. But there were several games the very first day, like the very first set of matches. They had to restart some games like they had to restart basically every game once, and like some games they had to restart them twice because the rules were just like not working. I don't know if it was like a bug in the game or if they messed up the overload rules, but it's like we got to the overload in all the series, and it's just like what would happen is the team like there'd be a point where um the first team would get the ball, and if they dropped it, uh instead of the timer like restarting even though the timer pauses when a team has the ball, it would just forever pause. It would just never go down. um and we had that issue multiple times, and there were a lot of like weird situations. There were a lot of weird situations where they chose some very inopportune times to restart the game. Like
Well, of course they
they
did.
restarted. It was I think it was Phase versus Notorious was the game. It was Phase versus one of the challengers teams, and they like restarted the game the first time, hoping they fixed it. And then they got into the game realizing they hadn't fixed it yet. And but they let FaZe and they let them play it out all the way to the point where they were in the second half and FaZe was leading by quite a bit. FaZe had like a 3 point lead or something like that. And then like it ended up getting brought back to a tie. But legitimately, like 10 seconds after the tying score went in, with like it was like 7-7. Like they were like it was game point. Like whether the time was gonna work or not, it was whoever scored next wins. It was like 10 seconds after they tied the game. The rest were just like, nope, restart it. I
Wow.
was like, what?
Makes no sense, but okay. Sure, bud.
I was like, you really let them play for that long? Then you're gonna restart it the second
Like
that
that makes
it's
no
it's a
sense to
legitimately
do
close
that.
game.
Like, why would you
Like
do
they
that at
should have
that point?
restarted it. They let it play through the first half, and I thought they were just gonna restart it then. Because like FaZe got up really fast. They scored super fast in the first half. And I thought for sure it was just like, oh, we'll just let them play through the first half. FaZe is like kind of dominating. We'll just let them have it and then we'll restart it. But they didn't restart it. They just let it keep playing. But as soon as they got tied, the rest were like, nope, we can't have this. We got to restart. Yeah, it was a really odd start to the day. Those games, um, really really weird. But after that, it was smooth sailing. I don't know what happened. Like I said, I have no idea. I don't know what happened with the rules for that, but it was fine after that. After that weird chaotic start.
Interesting.
But I mean, I thought the challengers teams, I thought they showed up for sure. Like we saw, we saw Omit. I think it was Omit in Cloud Nine's group. Somebody beat Cloud Nine, um, which was kind of funny. But I was kind of sad for the Huntsman. I wanted to see if there was going to be any of the teams make it out of groups. I was hoping it'd be Huntsman, but sadly they did not play all that well. I was not feeling that good after Huntsman got knocked out so fast. So I hate to say it, but I honestly think they fared the worst out of the challengers teams that played.
Damn. I hate to hear that. But
Like I
sometimes
really
that's how it
thought that they were
goes.
gonna do something. I was hoping. I was looking at mainly them and Omit, but it's funny because um it was kind of the opposite. Rock and Notorious were the two teams that like actually like put up a pretty good fight. Um but it was I don't know. I mean I still like I have a lot of thoughts about it, but it's like I still thought it was a good event regardless.
Uh,
I would just love to see like I don't know what it's gonna take, but I'd just love to see a challengers team break into that bracket. It would be great.
yeah. And it was
Um,
also this was kind of also like our first look at how like a bracket like this would run after play-ins like that. So I mean, now going forward, we can actually do some sort of like what's it called prediction about what's gonna happen. I do want to point out too again, like Optic, with their winners bracket run and just getting ousted in the end. They really just they gotta really address that
well,
because
you want to know what's funny? And I didn't really truly think about it until I saw this, but um, there's been a little bit of criticism about Optic. A lot of people are like calling them the Silver Surfers, like FaZe were and Vanguard and Surge were last year. In which it's kind of true. It has happened where like FaZe got like 4 second places in Vanguard, like 3 or 4. Surge had 4 last season, BO6, and Optic now have 3 in BO7. But you got to think about it this way though. Optic, if you look at their record, they are 31-7 in map count in series count. They're 31-7. They have lost They have only lost 4 online matches, and the only 3 matches they have lost in their entire time on LAN have been the grand finals. They have flawlessly made it to the grand finals every time, and they have only lost uh, from the grand finals. And also, you know what that means? They have not lost a single best of 5 on LAN.
True.
They are undefeated in best of 5s on LAN.
I mean, that's all. I mean, the thing is like, that's amazing, but at the end of the day, like, what counts is that ring in the finger. So if they can get, their shit together before champs, then it's all water under the bridge. But if they can't, then that's when the problem arises for them. So if this pattern persists, like, they're looking at a very devastating champs season. From world champs and then
I
EWC.
don't know. I still think they pull it together because I saw somebody say that it seems like Optic has to like pay some sort of price for like all their championships. Like if you think about like Infinite Warfare in 2017, like that team was on the verge of breakup until Karma won that 1v1 against Fastballa, and that saved basically their entire season and the dynasty, and they ended up
Yeah.
winning champs. Uh, Last year, when you look at MW3, like they had a pretty like steady team for the most part, but they did also like come up short quite a bit in MW3. But they ended up pulling it together at champs. Last year, probably the biggest sacrifice they had to make, the 0-18, like that that was like insane. How like how terrible they were for a little bit, but then they got Merc and they pulled it together and won champs. And I feel like all these second places and all these like shortcomings in the grand finals is the sacrifice they've had to make, and I feel like when they get to champs, they're gonna pick it up and they're gonna win the thing.
I hope you're right. Like, I'm not. I don't want to be wrong here. I definitely do not want to be wrong, but sometimes I am.
I really just like there's been so much talk about them, but I just keep thinking about what um I just keep thinking about what they said during the process was like they even when they were going 0-18 and whatever, and it obviously wasn't going well for them. But even like before and after that, like they were just solely focused on champs. Like they didn't really care what happened online
Yeah.
or at the other majors. They just wanted to win champs. And like I feel like with the way this system works in this league, that kind of mindset works better now than it ever has before. And I wouldn't be surprised if they just carry that mindset and that's just what happens. I wouldn't be surprised if they just maybe they don't win any other events besides champs, but they're going to show up at champs and be really good. So,
I hope so. I hope so. I think they can do it though. Like, if any team's gonna do it, it's them. At the end of the day,
well, I mean,
they
they're the
have.
they're the only team that's made it to every grand finals,
Yeah,
and
they have the depth
it went
to.
it went game 7 against Thieves and Gentlemates. I mean, they kind of got smoked by FaZe, but they don't really have to worry about FaZe right now because FaZe can't even make it to like top 3. So they're holding their own against the other top teams. They just gotta push it over the limit just a little bit.
Yeah, they can do it though. I believe in them. I think they definitely have what it takes to be at the top. They just have to show everybody else that they know what they're doing. Um, as
They
long
just
as they
got to
can do
do
that.
something. If it comes down to like where it goes past game 5 and we get into the game 6, game 7, they've got to do something to like
Mm,
reset themselves and be like, okay, like we're good. Like we just gotta like win one. Like
mm, oh yeah.
because like I said, they're undefeated in best of fives. Like you put them in a best of 5, you're not beating them. And that was kind of like there's like obviously every event there's discussions about what the format should be for grand finals. I still agree with the 2 best of 5s, and it's like if the winners bracket team wins the first best of 5, they win the whole thing. If the losers bracket team wins the first best of 5, we play another one. Um, I always like that format. Um, I thought it was great. And what's really funny is, and I sent this to you. What's really funny is that crazy dashy quick scope. If this would have been that system, that format, that would have ended the major. That clip would have been the major winning clip.
Damn. And it just it wasn't. It's crazy how like you can have something that's so, I don't know, so close to being like the end, and then just like it getting ripped away from you. That's got to be so demoralizing, like so demoralizing. Like,
Well, and it's just like, and I'm not even saying it because Optic is like the one losing so much. It's like I've been saying this for years. It's like ever since we went to this system where they've tried just doing one series in grand finals, it always works out in the losers bracket team's favor. Like they always have like I kind of didn't mind it when it was like Cold War when we did like a best of 9 but the winners bracket team had a one game advantage
mm,
off rip. They just started off 1-0. But it's just the problem is if you get sent down to the losers bracket like Thieves did, they got sent down the loser bracket in round one. So they were just playing loser bracket games, and they played way more games than Optic, especially over that last couple days span. Like, because you got to remember, like Sunday starts with Sunday starts with I believe Sunday starts with loser semis. So they played like 3 matches on Sunday. So
damn,
it's like
that's crazy.
they played 3 matches and Optic only played two. And like when you think about it, it doesn't seem like that much. It's like well they played one extra series. What do you mean? Like, but the momentum that you get from being so warm is like crazy. Because like Thieves played against FaZe and won that series, and then they play against Ultra right after Optic's game, and they play against Ultra, and that's the game before Grand Finals. So you're actively playing in a match and then you just have a little break and then you go right back in. Whereas Optic had to sit and wait for like an hour and a half to play. Um I just like I wish they would give a little bit of advantage to like the winner. And I truly think that I did like I said I didn't mind the old system in like Color when it was like best of 9 winner gets a one game advantage, but I kind of don't really like the artificial advantage. I kind of wish it was just a natural advantage, and that's where that double best of 5 system comes in because if the winners bracket team wins that best of 5, they didn't have an advantage necessarily to start, but they were able to capitalize and just do what they've done all event and win,
Mm-hmm.
and it's over. But if the losers bracket team wins the best of 5, it's like, okay, they've reset the bracket. We're going to play another one.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know, man. It's like so tricky to do because you never really know how it's gonna like shake out in the end all be all. But at the end of the day, congratulations
Feels
to
good
LA
for Neum,
Thieves.
bro.
Yeah, dude's
Feels
like,
good for Neum.
I mean, if you think about it, if you really want to stretch it, Neum is a product of the Huntsman, so therefore the LA Thieves win is a optic win because their boy Neum got the dub as a rookie.
Well, and honestly, like if Optic isn't gonna win, I'd prefer that Thieves win because Nate shot. But if Optic isn't gonna win, I prefer Thieves winning. It's just really tough when Thieves beats Optic, and that's been happening a little bit.
Yeah.
It's really tough.
But
Um,
it's good. It's good that they won. Congratulations to them. Another dub under their belt for the season. Which is really cool. Looking at the CDL standings after that event, Optic is still on top. Like it just shows. It's just to show like they really aren't bad. They're just losing the wrong games. They're just
I
losing
mean,
the wrong
like I said,
matches.
like they are undefeated in game fives on land in best of fives on land. They're undefeated. Like they've lost half their matches online and half their matches on land. Like they just I don't understand like why they can't win like best of sevens, but I honestly like if I'm Optic though, like not understanding why you can't win like one or two extra games in one series in a grand final, in my opinion, is a little bit better than not understanding why you can't win a game at all.
Yeah.
Um, I
Like
think they're in
they're
a much better position than when they went 0-18.
well, see the thing is they're lost. They have more wins than like some of the teams have games combined. Like actually,
Yeah.
no. I'm close on that though cuz 108 is how many games Cloud9 have played. And Optic have won 105 games. So, it's close. Not quite
Well,
accurate
I
to my
mean, you look
statement.
at they've won 31 series, and the closest team, like, they have more they have more wins than the entire games played of the entire bottom four.
That's
Because the
true.
Ravens have 30, Surge have 29, Breach have 28. Like,
Cloud9 have
um,
28. So, I mean, it's just a testament to show like they're a dominant team and they're a good team. I mean, they're the only team with single digit losses. The only team
they're
with
the
single
only
digit
team with more
losses.
than 30 wins.
Yeah, so it's like they
They're the only team with more than 100 map wins. Like,
and it's just I don't know what they need to do or what sort of
it
mental
only took them to
block.
grand finals to surpass more than 50 map losses.
Yeah.
Like, they are in all intents and purposes, they are kind of dominating the league a little bit.
Yeah,
They
they're
obviously
just not
they
getting the wins
can't
where it
like get over
counts.
the hump in grand finals, but like in every other place, they're basically unbeatable.
Yeah. So I don't know what they need to do. I don't know the answer here, but they need to find one because it's coming up to the end of the season here. We're in the the last home stretch, like two more events, three more
Yeah, we got
events.
one more
And
major
then
champs in the EWC.
yeah,
So
they've got to figure it out and they got to figure it out quick. So if they don't, they're in real trouble. Real trouble.
I
But
just think honestly, like at this point, they're so good that honestly, I think that the way they get better is just by trying stuff.
mhm.
Like, try something in scrim, see if it works. Do something a little bit off the wall. Like, you guys know that you're good enough that you can stick to the fundamentals and you don't have to worry about straying too much from it. Just like try something.
Yeah.
Like,
And try be super try during league matches, to be and where you can lose, and it doesn't matter as much as a grand finals. So moving on, there's really not much we can kind of beat a dead horse with that one. So it's official that EWC has been moved to be held in Paris, France, which is absolutely epic.
yeah.
Um, this is
We heard
awesome.
like a week or two ago that this was a possibility. It was being floated around due to all the tensions in the Middle East. And it has now been confirmed. EWC is moving from Riyadh to Paris for at least this season. If I had to guess, they'll probably try to keep it in Riyadh as soon as everything dies down. But for at least this season, we'll be in Paris,
Yeah,
which is actually really cool. Now that means Gentlemate gets two home events. So
which is
um,
awesome for that home
can't
crowd.
say they don't show any love to Paris anymore.
Yeah. True. Bringing back the home crowd kind of thing that the CDL started out with. So just for dates wise, just so you guys know, Warzone's going to be July 28th through the 31st, so right at the end of July. And then Black Ops 6 is the next weekend after that, which is August 4th through 8th, which is so great and amazing because this is when I'm moving. So I love that Warzone is when I move, and it gives me a week to get all situated before COD starts. So,
Yeah.
well, multiplayer anyway. Um,
Yeah, and I feel like EWC is becoming a bigger and bigger event every year, and I think Paris is definitely gonna have a little bit of a warm up with CDL Major, but I think
yeah,
they're gonna try to go all out for EWC.
I
They
I
know that
I
I
hope they
think
do.
Paris, in my opinion, should take this as a chance to showcase why EWC should like rotate locations. And like they should like try to put on the absolute best event so people will be like, "Oh my god, this is like better than Riyadh."
Yeah. It'd be really cool if it was like kind of like the Olympics where like it would change, you know, it'd be in like one place for a couple years and then they'd change and then that'd be really cool just so, you know, people around the world can go to this event and I think that would make it a lot better. And yes, I am moving. I'm just moving apartments. I'm not moving towns. I'm literally probably moving across the street to be honest. But yes, I am moving this summer.
That's
Thank
crazy,
God.
bro.
I'm not gonna be sleeping on the couch anymore. I'm gonna have my own bedroom. I'm gonna be so fancy. Yeah, moving's not fun, but I get my own room. Because
That's great.
this is one of the reasons why. My sister the other day, she was having a bad day, and like, oh, just so you know, like my door's always open if you ever want to talk about it. She looked at me dead in the eyes. She goes, "You don't have a door, because I sleep in the living room, because I gave them my room, because I'm a very nice person." And I was like, "Oh my god, what do you mean? That's so rude." And she's like, "Well, am I wrong?" I was like, "Well, no, you're not wrong, but I was speaking
Be like, okay, the
metaphorically."
proverbial door.
Yeah, the metaphorical door. Like, what?
That's funny.
Like, are you kidding me? But yeah, I'm very excited to have my own room again. Living in the living room is not ideal, but um, that's okay. So I've been slowly like packing stuff here and there, just kind of get everything together because I move at the end of July, so my lease is up. So that's when I'm out of here. Um,
Yeah.
so cool stuff, you know, cool little stuff. Um, very excited actually to move into a new apartment. I just want a room. I want a bedroom again. Guys, don't take your bedroom for granted. Enjoy it. Be like, yes, I have my own room. It's amazing. Or if you share a room with someone, being like, oh, I have a door. Just, you know, it's the little things in life. Um, but yeah, EWC to Paris. And then I think there's, what else were we talking about today? I'm actually really excited for the EWC. I just think it's a really great event. I definitely want to cover it a
It is a fun
little.
event.
I want to cover it a little bit more this summer than we have in the past. Usually we don't really cover it too much, but I really do want to go a lot more in depth on what's going on, with that sort of thing.
So many esports show up.
Forza Horizon. Bow 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 bow. Don't worry, I'm pulling it up. Oh,
That thing up.
There's a Pokemon Easter egg. Pokemon Easter egg. Okay, so Forza Horizon 6 launched today. Well, early access a couple days ago, but
Yesterday.
yesterday, it launched.
It
In
launched
early
on Friday in early access and yesterday.
early access, it was almost $200,000, 200,000 people playing in early access.
And that was just on Steam.
Yes, not including all the other
Actually,
platforms.
yesterday night, this morning, whatever you want to call it, it peaked. It went even higher. Peak player count is now past 270,000.
Holy
And
crap.
before the podcast, I checked Steam charts. There's still 260,000 people playing
That's
right now.
that's actually crazy. That's
And that's
actually
like you
crazy.
got to remember that's not even factoring like Xbox and Forza is obviously like a long time Xbox IP. Like they've had it. And it's only like for it's crazy that they're hitting like nearly 300K on Steam considering Forza Horizon 5 was like the first game to ever get put on Steam. Um,
Damn.
and we're hitting new peaks with FH6, but I'm sure. I think they said there was like I don't know. I don't. This is obviously I don't think this is concurrent, but I'm pretty sure they said there were like 1.5 million people that played it during early access. On Xbox, so I'm sure the numbers are climbing even further now. I mean, obviously, like for people for people that didn't want to pay $100 for the premium version of the game to play in early access, it's available now. Um, The regular game is the standard price, the new standard price of $70. But if you have Game Pass, it's on Game Pass. So that's how I've been playing it, and it's a good time. Um, I mean, this was a highly anticipated game. It's been 5 years since Forza Horizon 5, and I mean, everybody has wanted Japan for so long. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Japan has been probably the most requested location like since the very beginning. Like, I don't know. I mean, obviously there weren't a lot of expectations probably when they went from Colorado to Forza Horizon 2, which was like the French slash Italian Riviera. But like, I think when people saw that and they were like, "Oh, we could go global with this game," but like they were like, "Wait, Japan."
I mean,
Like,
that's kind
I
of.
think for I think from that point they were like, "Okay, let's go to Japan, dude."
Well, I think at that point you kind of have to because of like just I just have to at that point. I
by,
think it's
by
just
far,
like.
like I know that they shared this before, but I think by far the two most requested locations for a Forza Horizon game were Japan and Hawaii, but Japan is like far past Hawaii. Like Hawaii's number two, but it's way down there. Uh, Japan has been Japan has been for a very long time the most anticipated location, and I mean I'm kind of glad they waited 5 years to give us a Japan game because this game is pretty fun, and they have made a lot of really good improvements, and it feels really fun to play. Like they have kind of injected some of the Forza Motorsport handling to this game. I've always felt like in at least in Forza Horizon 4 and 5, the ones I've been able to play on PC was like I always felt like the handling was like it was good, but a lot of times it was like really twitchy, especially in really fast cars. Like it was kind of hard to handle sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But this game feels like motorsport. Like it's very like the cars obviously it's a little bit arcadey. Like the cars definitely have a lot of grip. Like
Yeah.
you're not gonna find yourself pushing a car over the edge very much because they have a ton of grip. But it feels like it's very fun to drive. It's very good. And that's just me playing on controller. I've yet to play on wheel. I might have to do that soon. Because I've heard that they've also improved the wheel. Wheel gameplay on Forza Horizon games has not always been that great. Um, but I've heard they've made a bunch of improvements. I know they made a lot of improvements to the off-road driving and like the rally racing because I had a lot of fun doing that compared to the other games. Um, but yeah, Forza Horizon 6 is a blast. I mean, I haven't even played like all that much of it. I got about 4 hours in yesterday, uh, but it was great. Um, it is a fantastic game. I love the Japan setting. Um, the map is awesome. It's like very very dense and very open, but also kind of like especially when you get in the city, it's like oh my god, like I couldn't believe they could put a big city like this in the game. Um, but uh, I mean, we obviously have like the typical like Forza stuff. Like as with motorsport, I think I would not be surprised if this game wins some accessibility awards this year because they basically put all of the accessibility settings for motorsport into this game and added some. Um, so for people that that have like disabilities or disadvantaged when playing a racing game, for like Forza Horizon 6 is probably the best game for you
Mm-hmm.
to play. Um, because it's crazy. Like I would not be surprised if they win some awards for that again. Um, but the game is very fun. I still, like I said, I'm not even that far into it. So far I like it a lot better than when I played Forza Horizon 5. But we'll see. It definitely. I'm excited to see what they do because the game is pretty like not necessarily bare bones, but like from compared to like when you they really hit their stride in the season of a Forza game, it's like it's not got all the bells and whistles like they haven't started the festival playlist yet. There's not a lot of cool events going on. Like it's just kind of hey play the game for a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and it's a good time. I'm having a great time.
Great. Good to hear. Good to hear.
Hopefully, it
Um,
keeps running up those player count numbers.
hell yeah. Um, I just saw this as I was scrolling to change the subject. Um, how the fuck? Why the fuck did someone swat an 81-year-old grandma
Oh, I saw that,
who
dude.
plays Minecraft to raise money for her grandson with
I
cancer?
saw that.
How sick do you have to be as a person? Like how messed up in your head do you have to do that? A grandma?
It's just haters, bro.
A grandma? An old woman who's playing Minecraft. By the way, that's a feat in of itself. If you ever tried to teach your grandparents how to play video games, it is it
Yeah,
is
dude, anytime I see somebody north of like 60 playing a game on Twitch, I'm like, this is impressive.
yeah, for multiple reasons. One, I tried teaching one of my grandmas how to play freaking Mario Kart. Oh my god. Oh my god. It was literally the funniest experience because she would kept going, she could not figure it out. We tried for like an hour and she just could not get it. And yes, there are some grandmas out there that have been playing video games for a long time. Go them. But you got a grandma here playing Minecraft, which is you got to juggle a lot when it comes to Minecraft. And she's, raising money for her sick grandson.
Yeah, when it comes to like grandmas and like elderly gamers, I would not even say that Minecraft is like we all think that Minecraft is like an easy game, but for them that's probably not the easiest game you could play. Like
Yeah, that's why like people like are so impressed with like Tactical Grandma, like the one that plays Call of Duty and snipes. Like she's a fucking baddie.
oh dude, she's nuts, dude.
Like
She might
she
be
is
the best. She
insane.
might be the best she might be the best elderly gamer I've ever seen. She is
Yeah, she is
genuinely like really good.
amazing. So it's just you don't mess with the like it's just like respect your elders. It comes to that point where you gotta like respect your elders. And like yeah, some of them are mean and whatever, and some of them are grouchy, but like this one's trying to save her sick grandson, her sick dying grandson. Like, come on, she's
Yeah,
not even
like
using the
she
money
ain't
for
even like
herself.
on the internet or like on Twitch like causing drama or whatever because she can. She's literally like she probably like rarely does a lot on the internet anyway, and she's like getting on Twitch playing Minecraft. So
Yeah. So, you know what?
like
Screw you to whoever do that.
I'm like, bruh,
I hope you get the kind of life you deserve. So,
hope
yeah.
both sides of the pillow on your bed are warm.
Yeah, very warm. And I hope you can never you're I ooh, I wish ill upon you. Alrighty, guys. I think that's what we're gonna call it a day for today.
Dude, that's
Oh my god, I didn't
crazy.
even show the picture. Yeah, here's the picture of her. That's the grandma, and that's she posted a video of it, uh, of her
Oh
getting
yeah, she
swatted.
did.
So if you guys want to check that out, feel free. Give her some love. Um, she's raising money, real money for cancer treatment. Minecraft Grandma Fund. Love that
Dang,
actually.
bro, she passed $10,000. What
Yeah,
the
what a baddie, baddie,
crap?
baddie, 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 baddie. Um, but yeah, so thank you guys so much for tuning into today's episode of the Climb Together podcast. It's been an interesting one. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys like the podcast on YouTube and subscribe to the channel. If you guys are watching, make sure you guys follow us on Twitch where we stream this live every Wednesday at 12 p.m. EST. Twitch.tv/tonage_scorp and twitch.tv/deception276. Deception, say bye.
Bye.
Thank you guys, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.